What funny and light-hearted films are good for a pizza night? Clue. Just watched this the other night. What an unexpectedly crazy movie. A list of stupid fantastic movies my friends and I watched in college. Tucker and Dale vs Evil, Big Fish, Wet Hot American Summer Without a Paddle, Step Brothers, Kung Fury, Monty Python, Holy Grail, Bill and Ted, Hot Tub Time Machine, Ocean's 11, Scott Pilgrim, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Fargo. That's actually where we went to school, so the whole movie was like one big joke. Butter. Clark, Mallrats, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Super Troopers, Napoleon Dynamite, Cabin in the Woods, Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness, Blues Brothers. Edit. I stand by my statement. Evil Dead 1 is ducking funny. Maybe I'm just a psychopath, but I love it. Edit. Some movies I missed: Eurotrip, Mean Girls, Hot Rod, Blazing Saddles, A Knight's Tale, The Big Lebowski, Kill Bill, Grave Encounters. Another horror movie but we love that shiz in my friend group. Superbad, Bridesmaids, Starship Troopers, Black Dynamite. Totes ugly, cried watching Big Fish with my mom. The Emperor's New Groove. Pull the lever, Krank. Krank is iconic. Tremors. A little bit scary, a lot funny, always a crowd pleaser. Tremors is my go-to movie when I want to watch something awesome and zone out. Hot Fuzz. For the greater good. Spaceballs or Galaxy Quest by Grapthus Hammer. Game Night. Yeah, I really didn't expect to enjoy that movie near as much as I did. GF and I laughed our teas off the whole time. Big Trouble Little China. When some wild-eyed 8-foot-tall maniac grabs your neck, taps the back of your favorite head up against the bedroom wall, and he looks you crooked in the eye, and he asks you if you paid your dues. You just stare that big sucker right back in the eye, and you remember what old Jack Burton always says at a time like that: have you paid your dues, Jack? Yes, the check is in the mail. Anything by Mel Brooks. Robin Hood, Men in Tights, Young Frankenstein, or either of the producers. I love the producers, but getting Springtime stuck in my head sucks. Can't exactly belt that out in the grocery store. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but only at Thanksgiving. School of Rock. Those that can't do, teach, and those that can't teach, teach Jim. Back to the Future. Always. I was 9 when it was released in cinemas, so for me, it was always an utter classic because everything, Marty's clothes, his references, everything about his realistic normal life was what I knew. That made the 1950s stuff more entertaining because it was so far away from the reality of 1985. Now people watch it and all of it is historical. 2020 is 35 years from 1985. That's longer ago than Marty travels back to in the film, 1985 to 1955. Blast from the Past. So underrated. Probably Alicia Silverstone's best movie after Clueless and peak Brendan Fraser. Christopher Walken and Sissy Spacek are amazing as well. Also a young Nathan Fillion part. The Great Outdoors. Fun Aykroyd / candy flick from the 80s. Big Bear Chase. Big Bear Chase Me. The Princess Bride. Have fun storming the castle. An oldie but my cousin Vinny. My favorite comedy of all time. The Youts. Rat Race. It's so silly and ends on a silly sing-along high. It's a race. It's a race. It's a race. Knives Out. It's not as serious as the trailer makes it look. I thought the trailer made it look not so serious and kind of over the top goofy in a lot of ways. I was pleasantly surprised really to find it more serious, but in a Wes Anderson kind of way, without all the pastels. Airplane. That movie started my drinking problem. Best in Show. Waiting for Guffman, and for your consideration, as well. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Oh, the weather outside is weather. Uncle Buck, or any movie starring John Candy. He always delivered. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a classic. It has Steve Martin too. My family watches it every Thanksgiving. What We Do in the Shadows. Absolutely wonderful. There's lots of blood though, vampires, so it's not really kid friendly, maybe. Also, just to stick with Taika Waititi, who's amazing. Thor, Ragnarok. I think it's enjoyable, even if you don't watch any other Marvel movies, or don't like Marvel movies. What Voice is great. TV show is good too, though it goes for a raunchier style. Very light even if they're horror themed. Wallace and Gromit. If you ask me, this was arson. Arson? Someone arson around. I laughed so very hard. Still one of my favorite lines from a movie. I love the humor in Wallace and Gromit so much. Shrek. What a movie. Ferris Bueller. Also, not quite a movie, but my go-to is the John Mulaney specials on Netflix. Amazing movie, and Street Smarts gets me every time. Wayne's World is always good. If Benjamin were an ice cream flavor, he'd be Pralines and Rick. This is quite possibly my favorite movie, and the sequel is ducking hilarious too. My sister even bought me the Wayne's World cap for my birthday last month. Death Becomes Her. It's weird and hilarious. Highly underrated film, but I try to only watch it around Halloween time. Tropic Thunder. You never go full retard. Oscar nominated. The Fifth Element. I did not understand this movie, but Chris Tucker was amazing. The Mummy, 1999. Hot Fuzz. A lot of Dwayne Johnson movies. Baywatch, Jumanji remake, The Rundown, also called Welcome to the Jungle, Dude Where's My Car, Kung POW. Spaceballs. Most Robin Williams movies. Most Jim Carrey movies. If you can overlook his personal chiz. Most Martin Lawrence movies. Men in Black. I like how you specify that The Mummy is the 1999 one. I still haven't fully processed the Tom Cruise one. The Sandlet. You're killing me, Smalls. Wreck-It Ralph. Thanks Satan. Ocean's 11. My friend. If you have extra time, do the whole Ocean's series. Even 12 has its moments. Watched recently, hadn't for many years, because I thought it was about a boat, but turns out it's not. Enjoyed. Big Lebowski. That's just, like, your opinion, man. Three Amigos. The Princess Bride. Super Troopers. I'll wait for a better suggestion. Chicken Duckers. Just get a large father. Toy Story, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Life of Brian, Clueless. The Money Pit. 50 First Dates. I saw this yesterday. It was sad, but they wrote it so well, so I felt okay about it. Fantastic Mr. Fox. Roald Dahl was a genius. Boris, Bunsen Bean. One fat, one short, one lean. D. Amelie was cute. I also loved What We Do in the Shadows. I just enjoy these two very different films being recommended in a pair of sentences. So I married an axe murderer. His head is like an orange on a toothpick. Speech is great. Anchorman. Chef. Tommy Boy. The point is, what if the fairy turns out to be a crazy glue sniffer? Booled in model airplane, says the little fairy. Well, we are not buying it. He sneaks into your house once. That's all it takes. Next thing you know, there's money missing off the dresser and your daughter's knocked up. I've seen it 100 times. Any film by Ghibli. Watches Grave of the Fireflies. Big. What about Bob? A Fish Called Wanda. Oh, speak it, speak it. Kevin Kline proceeds to basically just recite an Italian restaurant menu. The Fling Castle of Howl. Translation of the title in Italian I don't know if it's different in English. I think you're referring to Howl's Moving Castle. Singin' in the Rain. Just watched it again last night. Top Hat with Fred Astaire. Love the old movies that are just silly fun. The Three Flavors Cornetto Trilogy, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. Marathon those dastards. Thank me later. Let's go to the Winchester, have a pint, and wait for this whole thing to blow over. It's not family friendly, but one of my favorites is Basketball, written by and starring Matt Stone and Trey Parker of South Park. It's hilarious. I remember watching that as a 12-year-old with my dad. For some reason the scene where they plop their giant sklunks didn't make me laugh, as THR joke went over my head I guess. But my dad laughed, so I was like alright. He likes it. We're a nation family, so it was nice to see my dad laugh at an American film. Spaceballs. Clueless is a nice light-hearted movie with happy endings for everyone. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is a classic. However, there are some people who may not appreciate the type of humor in it. Here's a list of very good ones that I've watched and enjoyed for the most part: 21 Jump Street, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Anchorman 1, Anchorman 2, National Lampoon Christmas Vacation, Dumb and Dumber, The Hangover, Hangover 2, Hangover 3, Burt Wonderstone, Key, New Kicker, Nacho Libre, Popstar, Spaceballs, Superbad, Blades of Glory, Talladega, Step Brother, Zoolander. Liar Liar, Deadpool, The Other Guys, Zoolander 2, Deadpool 2, Kicker to This Is the End, Hot Tub Time Machine, Hot Tub 2, Ted 2, Bruce Almighty, Drive Baby Driver, Scott Pilgrim vs the World, Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, Get Hard. I think that Key and Peele's Keanu is an underrated MVP, and I'm always surprised how many people haven't watched Hot Fuzz. Drive and Baby Driver are a little more serious and less light and fun, especially Drive, but still amazing movies. Edit, Spacing and Spelling Edit 2. Check out the sequels for all of these. Some of them have more than one movie and I just forgot to add them. Puddington 1 and 2. Yes, Puddington is a wise bear. Because of him I always carry an emergency marmalade sandwich in my hat in case I need it. Clue. The Hangover series. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Dazed and Confused. Elf. Superbad. McLovin is the best. Clueless / Legally Blonde, lol. Clueless is a flawless movie. Caddyshack. I like Game Night. British rom-coms are always a winner for me. Sweet, funny, have big casts of hilarious characters. For Weddings and a Funeral, Notting Hill, About a Boy, Love Actually, Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility. Galaxy Quest. Death at a Funeral, the British version. It has Alan Tudyk and Peter Dinklage on a hallucinogenic concoction at a funeral. A Fish Called Wanda is a wild ride. Good enough to make my mates put their phones down and actually laugh out loud. Pitch Perfect. As good as it gets. Spaceballs, Princess Bride, Robin Hood, Men in Tights. Also any spoof movie is great. I'd say most Adam Sandler movies. They're kinda stupid and pretty silly, so even if you don't enjoy the story you can at least laugh at how ridiculous it is. Update. Currently watching The House Bunny, but chances are we will need another film to watch afterwards. Didn't see it in the comments, but Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire Saga, was very enjoyable. In the past 15 years, Eurovision has proven to be the tackiest singing contest in Europe. Accomplished artists actively avoid having their names attached to it because of how laughable it's become. I'm worried that many people will dislike my wording, but it's essentially a modern day freak show, where hamster wheels, bearded ladies and acts with weird costumes and stunts are top contenders. Many of the artists are talented, no doubt, but they tend to be minorities of the countries they represent, and the show as a whole is seen by many as a joke. This movie did a good job at showing many of these aspects, the talent behind the ludicrous acts, the ridiculousness, the political agendas, etc. It also has some really good songs and lots of cameos from past contenders. Kung Fu Hustle. Airplane. Eurovision on Netflix. Oh my, you watched until the end? That's fucking awesome, dude. Thanks for watching.